Hello, this is Ruth Ann McKinnon. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming for you a perfume haul video. These are things that I have accumulated over the last several weeks, a couple of months maybe. Anyway, I'm just going to get started. I have some real gems here and they're all very affordable. Nothing at all is expensive. And nothing is popular either, I don't think. So I'm just going to get started. The first fragrance I have for you today is Jovan Island Gardenia. This fragrance goes back to 1982. It is a white floral classic gardenia fragrance. This is the most realistic gardenia that I have ever come across. And my experience with gardenia was when I was a teenager. My parents took me and my siblings to Hawaii for 2 weeks. It was the biggest vacation we ever took. And we stayed at a resort, several resorts actually, and they had these lovely outdoor walking gardens where you could walk through them. And I used to love to sit down on the bench in the early evening as the sun was going down, listen to the ocean, and smell the gardenia. Now, I had never smelled gardenia in my life. I grew up in the Midwest, never had smelled anything like it. Very limited experience with that sort of thing. And these big white flowers, just like here on this picture. And the place just reeked of it, and it was beautiful. So this is the most realistic one I have ever smelled since then. It's very summery, tropical, creamy, almost buttery, kind of a floral. Absolutely beautiful. This is my second or third bottle of it. I haven't had it in quite a while. I'm probably not going to wear it much until next summer, but this is just absolutely lovely. Lovely, beautiful, summery gardenia. If you like gardenia, you've got to try this. Absolutely have to try it. Cannot recommend it highly enough. And I think that was the price for that one was in the teens. The next fragrance I have is one of those Gwen Stefani celebrity fragrances. I don't have the top. This was a tester, and I'm glad because those tops, it's a big doll kind of a thing, and I find that annoying. This is called Harajuku Lovers G, and I bought this because it is a coconut fragrance. It comes from 2008. Coconut, red apple, mandarin orange. I was hoping for a nice strong coconut, and I just probably have to give up on the strong coconut fragrances because they don't seem to exist anymore. This smells to me a lot like hair conditioner. It's very light. It's slightly creamy. It's not very strong. I don't think it's going to be very long lasting, but it's pretty. It's a small bottle. What I will likely do with it is throw it in my bag when I go away for the weekend, maybe next summer, and use it all up in one weekend. It's nice. It's nice. I've only sampled it, haven't really worn it. Not super impressed though. So anyway, moving on to the next one. I have a classic bottle of Avon Candid. This one is from 1993. It says on here 1993. I have gone through so many bottles of Candid, I can't even count them. I've talked about this fragrance way too much on this channel. You guys are probably sick to death of it. I'm just going to say that it is a beautiful sandalwood fragrance blended with florals. If you like sandalwood, this is extremely affordable. This even being a classic formulation, I spent about $15 on it, this full bottle, and it smells beautiful. In fact, from comparing this classic formulation. Now this came out when I had just gotten out of college. That's how old it is. And I'm approaching retirement age. I'm 57 years old now. So this came out when I was in my early 20s. Anyway, compared to the Candid that is now, the current formulation, it's very similar. It's maybe a little more refined, but very similar. If you like sandalwood, this is very affordable. I highly recommend. You need to try it if you like sandalwood. Really, really nice. All right, next up I have a Britney Spears fragrance. I have not bought a new Britney Spears fragrance in quite a while. I love classic florals. I love, any kind of fragrance. I love I haven't come across anything yet by Britney Spears that I don't like. There have been a couple of these in the fantasy line that I bought years ago before I had my YouTube channel that I gave to friends and family because they were so bad for lasting. But I've kept the ones that are good for lasting, and there are many of them. I'd say the majority of her fragrances are really good for lasting. I had watched another YouTube video review on multiple different Britney Spears fragrances, and this one interested me, and I got it for a good price. It was about $24 on YouTube. No, not YouTube, on eBay. Anyway, this one came out in 2020. It's a sweet, fruity floral, just like all of hers. It's got the same fantasy DNA, but it really features vanilla and cherry. That is the official notes. However, how it comes across to me is plum. And I'm noticing with fragrances that cherry often comes across to me as being plummy. And I don't know, I know those fruits. I've been eating them all my life. I know what they smell like. And plums don't smell like cherries in real life, but yet in perfumery, I find that cherry notes smell like a lot like plum, typically. I don't know why, but this smells to me like a plum with sandalwood. It's a very cozy, soft fragrance. I would say the sugar in here, because all of Britney Spears' fantasy fragrances are very sweet, it's a little more brown sugary to me, like baking brown sugar. Like you're going to make cookies and you're using brown sugar. And when I sprayed this on, about 2 hours into it, it smelled like Fruit Loops to me. Now, I like Fruit Loops. I don't mind smelling like Fruit Loops. I can really enjoy that. I don't know that anyone else picks up on that. If you know this fragrance and you think it's Fruit Loopy too, let me know. Or maybe that's just my imagination working, but it's very nice. And I would say this lasts a good 6 hours. It's really good for lasting. So I'm very happy with it. And it's a really pretty bottle. I like this kind of ombre, different color. I just really like the fantasy bottles. They're really nice. If you like sweet fragrances and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you cannot go wrong with Britney Spears fragrances. They're beautiful, really, really beautiful. And I'm glad I have it. Next up, let's see, what do I have next? All right. By the way, I have 11 fragrances here. So I'm sorry if this gets to be too long, but I've gone a little shopping happy lately. This is another Jovan fragrance. I don't have the box anymore, but this is Black Musk. This is my countless number of bottles that I've had. I bought this one because it was in a different shaped bottle. Now, I've noticed with Jovan, the fragrance depends on the bottle, and the formulations change with the bottles. And that's not typically the case with other perfumers, but it is with Jovan. So I have bought, I'd say in the last 5 years, probably this is my third or fourth bottle, and every single one of them has smelled differently. Sometimes they smell like cherry cone musk, incense. Cherry, the cones of incense, the cherry scented ones. I've had it smell like that. I've had it also smell a lot like La Vie Belle, with that kind of peppery patchouli. This one, let's see. This one smells like a warm yellow musk with a lot of tropical florals. So again, it's different. It doesn't smell like La Vie Belle. It doesn't have that peppery, burn your nose kind of patchouli, but it's very pleasant. It's very nice. I would say that in the opening, it's extremely floral, hibiscus kind of floral, tropical, but that quickly dries down and you get this lovely kind of musk mixed with patchouli. And I've noticed when anything is described or called a black musk, what that typically means is it is a musk mixed with patchouli. So this is more of the peppery kind rather than the earthy kind, but it's not obnoxious like the one that's in La Vie Belle. So it's very nice. And I'm glad I have it. All right. And it's very inexpensive as well. All right. Next up, I have several Avon fragrances. So I bought Sweet Honesty. This is the box. This is the bottle of perfume. And this is the matching skin softener that I bought. This is a perfumed skin softener. So Avon does their body creams really, really well. They're strongly scented. They're not quite a cream perfume, but close. They're close. When you think of a perfume lotion, usually they're very weak. Avon does a good job in making them stronger. So they layer really well. And anyway, so I just wanted to let you know that I got, this is not just a weak lotion. It actually does smell like Sweet Honesty. Sweet Honesty, you can see the price. I got this for $13. The body cream was, I think, $6. I went to the state fair a couple of weeks ago, and they have a booth there that sells Avon, and I go there every time I go to the fair. I don't get there every year, but anyway, I bought 4 bottles of perfume there, and I was so happy to find Sweet Honesty. This is a classic 1973 floral fragrance that features lily of the valley, lemon, hyacinth, and rose. It's just a very clean, innocent baby powder fragrance. It's very nostalgic. Back when I was a little girl in the 70s, this was the #1 perfume, hands down. I would say 90% of the girls that I knew wore Sweet Honesty. It was absolutely #1. It was a more affordable option to Love's Baby Soft. And it was more the teenagers that had the Love's Baby Soft. If you were a little girl, you were rocking Sweet Honesty. So anyway, I bought it for nostalgic reasons, and I'm hoping that the layering of the two will make it a little more stronger and long lasting. But if you like baby powder, Sweet Honesty is something that you definitely want to try. Next up, I have Soft Musk. Again, $13. This is a 1.7 fluid ounce. Now, I did wear this. I want to say the day I bought it or the day after. I don't remember exactly, but I was staying with my sister, and when we went to the fair together, and the next day, I think it was, or maybe that evening we came home from the fair, I took a shower and I put this on, because I had never actually worn Avon's Soft Musk before. I've heard of it. It's been around a long time. Soft Musk came out actually in 1980. And I just never had experienced it before. And I thought it had been discontinued. So when I saw it, I bought it. And I was really pleasantly surprised. It does smell a lot like musk. So it reminds me of a Jovan musk, but it's softer, which would make sense. It's called Soft Musk. It's very powdery. It's mixed with a bit of rose and jasmine, and it's much more long-lasting than I expected. I would say it lasted 6 hours. In fact, the next morning when I woke up after putting it on, I could still smell it. It's light. It's a light, powdery musk, and it's very ladylike, very beautiful, very innocent. This could be worn by children. It could be worn by grown women. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I was surprised at how well it performed. This would also be one that would be safe for perfume-free zones. I would just be careful to wear it on skin, not on clothes, and keep it to a couple sprays. Absolutely gorgeous. I only wore it the one time. Otherwise, I've tested it, and really, really beautiful. Highly recommend. Next is, all right, this is one that was a big surprise. This is called Topaz. Now, Topaz, I remember from when I was a kid. So my mother had a friend who lived across the street from us when I was little in the 70s, and she was an Avon lady. And looking back on it now, I didn't understand it then, but looking back on it now, I understand that this family didn't have a lot of money, and she was an Avon lady, and so every month she would call my mother and ask what her order was, if she had an order. And my mother would let me order a couple of little cream sachets, which were cream perfumes. And sometimes she would let me get a little mini bottle of perfume, some lotion, something like that. And so every month I would try something different. And I vaguely remember trying Topaz. And again, I thought it had been discontinued. I haven't smelled Topaz in so long. And when I bought this bottle and tried it, it smells exactly like I remember. Exactly. Now, I didn't know anything about it back then, but I've since, of course, looked it up. It's from 1959 is when this one was originally formulated. It's an aldehydic amber woody floral. It has tons of notes if you look them up. It's one of those complex, lots of notes kinds of fragrance. And honestly, it smells a lot like Chanel No. 5. If you like Chanel No. 5 and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a very good alternative. It's not as long lasting, but it's very similar scent, slightly higher in the amber. So if you know, Chanel No. 5 is a aldehydic soapy white floral. Very soapy, very clean. This one is also very soapy and very clean, but in the dry down, there's a bit more amped up amber in this fragrance. It's bright, soapy, and clean. The only difference really between this and Chanel No. 5 is that little bit of amber. Absolutely gorgeous. $13 compared to $150 something for Chanel No. 5. I mean, you just can't go wrong. So again, that is Avon Topaz. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, last one from Avon, Odyssey, another classic. Now, Odyssey, I've got to tell you, this came out in 1981, and I had a bottle of it, a full-size bottle. Back in the day, when I was in high school, it had this long kind of pointy top on it. It was this really tall bottle. I found the bottle kind of annoying because it took up so much space on my dresser. But I remember loving the fragrance. I wore it and wore it. It took me forever to go through the bottle. Because it was so big, and I probably wasn't, back then I only wore perfume on special occasions if I were going out. I would never wear it just during the day. Now I wear it 24/7. It doesn't matter who I'm around, I'm wearing it. But anyway, I remember it very, very well because I wore it so much. And I bought it thinking, oh, I bet it's been reformulated. I bet it's no good anymore. And I was so happy when I got it out the other day, and it smells exactly the same. It smells exactly the same as it did in the early 80s when I wore it in junior high and high school. This is a very soapy white floral with mimosa, lily of the valley. And when I looked it up on Fragrantica, there were many reviewers that compared it to Body Shop's White Musk. And I don't know if that is still available now. I have a little bottle of the White Musk oil, and I've got to say it is similar. However, Odyssey is stronger and more longer lasting. It's really, really nice. I would say you would like this if you like white florals. You would like Odyssey if you like soapy fragrances, and you will like this if you like white musk fragrances. Really beautiful. I'm so excited that I got this. I didn't know that Avon was still making Odyssey. If they had discontinued it and then maybe picked it up again, I don't know. But I'm so happy to have this again, and I'm going to wear this a lot. All right, I have 2 left. Now we're done with Avon, and we're moving on to, this is Gloria Vanderbilt, Jardin on New York. So this is Gloria Vanderbilt, the original Gloria Vanderbilt, was one of my favorite fragrances, one of my signature fragrances in high school. And I just decided, and I had bought a bottle of the original a while back, used it up really quickly, and I didn't know that it had flankers. And so I decided to buy this bottle, and this is a Eau de Parfum Fresh. Now, I don't know what that means, Eau de Parfum Fresh. If you know what that means, let me know, because I honestly don't. If that means it's weaker, I don't know. Anyway, this is a white floral, was released in 2016, and it features gardenia, jasmine, and peony. It's a garden fresh fragrance. I would say there's kind of a note in here that smells like lime to me, almost like lime zest, which I like. That's not a complaint. It's very, very pretty, very feminine, very light, very nice, very summery. So I will probably save this for spring, summer. I can't really talk about how long lasting it is because I've only tested it. I haven't really worn it yet, but it's beautiful and not very expensive. This was definitely under $30. If you're interested, very nice. All right. Last one is another Gloria Vanderbilt, and this one is Minuit on New York. So this is a flanker of the original Gloria Vanderbilt, and this one features tuberose. Now, tuberose is probably becoming, if not clearly is, my favorite floral note. Now, my favorite note in perfumery is musk by far. I'm a lover of all things musk, but tuberose in terms of florals is probably number one. This is released in 2015, so it's been around a while. This is considered an oriental fragrance. It's an eau de parfum, and in my opinion, it's a tuberose bomb. It also has pink peony, white lily, amber wood, and suede. It's kind of an evening, sultry fragrance. It's very opulent. It's full of personality. I would say the personality of it is similar to Fracas by Robert Piguet. Now, I've never come across anything that I would call a dupe of Fracas. That is a classic 1940s Hollywood starlet floral. A lot of the Hollywood starlets in the 40s wore Fracas. This has the tuberose of Fracas, but it's not a dupe. I would say it's got the same, maybe a distant relative, like a sister-in-law's brother. I don't know. It's not a close relative by any means. But if you were to say, all right, this perfume has this racy personality, and this other also has a racy personality, but they don't really smell exactly alike. They're in the same personality range, but they don't really smell alike. That's how I would describe this Vanderbilt Minuit on New York. Really, really nice. I would say if you're interested in this one, it's not as easy to find. Because it's been around 10 years, I had to spend a little bit more on it. It was more like mid-30s, and but worth it. Very much worth it. I did look it up on Fragrantica, and everyone said that it lasts really long, a good 6+ hours. I did test it. I've worn it once. I don't remember, in all honesty, how long it lasted. Probably put it on before bed, so I couldn't really tell you, but it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Of all the perfumes that I'm showing you today, this one is by far my favorite, but I love them all. I can't say I'm disappointed in any of them, except for maybe that Gwen Stefani one. That was, I don't know. I'm going to have to wear that. It's slightly disappointing. But anyway, that is it for my haul. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.